Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you how I monetized my Facebook page in 85 days. Okay, so first and foremost, if you are not into houseplants, then don't subscribe, but stay and watch the video for the monetization information. But this is a plant channel and I just happen to be talking about my Facebook monetization journey today. Okay, so before I got monetized and before I started my YouTube channel, I would devour videos about how I monetize my YouTube page, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, when I get to that point, I'm going to make a video like that. And my YouTube page is still not monetized, but my Facebook is. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you exactly how that journey went for me because when I was in the journey, I wanted to see how other people's went so I could stay motivated and be like, okay, after this happened, they got monetized. That happened to me too. So I wanted to see that information. So I'm going to give you a play by play on how it took me 85 days to monetize my Facebook page. And then I'll tell you how much I made in that first 24 hours. And so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the information here on my laptop because I've been writing it down since February 4th, which was 85 days ago. Okay, so I started my plant Facebook page on January 12th, 2026. And I was kind of just, posting here and there, not really doing much. And then I started watching, some of the other people talk about how they monetize their Facebook pages. And they were saying you have to post multiple times a day. So on February 4th, which was a couple weeks later, I started posting 3 times a day. I had this YouTube channel already, so I had a bunch of shorts on the YouTube channel. So I had a bunch of things I could post as reels on Facebook because they call them different things, obviously. And so I had a backlog of content that I could just post 3 times a day. I didn't really have to start creating 3 times a day, but I already had that content. And so you may have to be creating something 3 times a day. So then on uh, February 11th, this is when I started tracking the followers and everything, I had 61 followers, okay, on February 11th. And I'll post this written out in the description too so that you can see it visually. There are some gaps because on some days I didn't write down my follower count at the end of the day. I was, had a busy day or something like that. Okay, so February 4th, I started posting 3 times a day. By the end of February, I had 740 followers. And I had been seeing people say they got monetized at 500 followers. I had seen them, say it took them to 60,000 followers. So I wasn't really sure, what was going to happen, but I was just like, okay, I'm going to post 3 times a day and just do this. Okay, so March hits and I'm still posting 3 times a day. And by March 15th, I had 1,624 followers and I got my first badge. I got the emerging talent badge. And after scouring the internet and trolling other people's pages who were monetized, someone else said that after they got the emerging talent badge, they got monetized 2 weeks later. So I was like, okay, this could happen for me in 2 weeks. That'd be great, et cetera, et cetera. It gave me a little bit of motivation. A week later, on March 21st, I got approved for stars, which is people can pay you in the comments or something like that. And you're supposed to have 500 followers and have 500 followers for 30 days. And I had only had 500 followers for 26 days. And so I was like, ooh, I'm ahead. I'm going to get monetized soon, et cetera, et cetera. And at that time, I had 1,909 followers. So I did not get monetized in March. At the end of March, at the end of the day, March 31st, I had 2,443 followers and I still wasn't monetized. But I'm still like, okay, I'm going to post multiple times a day. I'm still, going to do this. And at this point, I had kind of run out of that backlog of reels from my YouTube page. So I had to start creating stuff. Okay, so on March 7th, I got my second emerging talent badge and I had 3,320 followers. And so I'm thinking, okay, I keep getting this badge. That's great. Let's just keep doing this. 1 week later, I get another emerging talent badge because you get them every week. And I had 4,223 followers. Okay. Then fast forward to March 19th, I had 5,036 followers and I got approved for subscriptions. So again, I'm thinking, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. They're seeing that I'm creating consistently, and I got sort of like the first tier of monetization on Facebook, right? I didn't turn on monetization or subscriptions because I just was like, I don't think that's something I'm gonna do with my page. I'll just leave it there for now, and I can always apply later. And then again, the next day, I get an emerging talent badge, and I got several more badges through the end of March, which I'll put in the description, or sorry, April. And at the end of April, I had 6,037 followers. And I was starting to get a little bit discouraged at this point. I was like, okay, other creators who had less followers than me were posting that they were getting monetized, and I still wasn't. And it's it sounds kind of dumb, but it is hard to post multiple times a day, engage with all those comments. I was getting like 300 comments on a reel. There was no way I could keep up with all these comments. So anyways, yeah, end of March or end of April, I had 6,037 followers and I was getting discouraged. And then I saw this creator, and her name was Lauren Webb, and she was basically saying she'd been posting every day on social media for like 460 days or something. And she was like, if you can commit to posting on social media every day for a year, she's like, I guarantee, your life will change. And so I thought, okay, you know what? I can do that. Let's just try it. Let's just do 365 days. Like, I can snap a photo of my plants, do something. Let's try it. And so I was committed to that. I had kind of resigned myself to the fact that, okay, I'm not going to get monetized soon. Maybe I'll be one of those people that, I have like 40,000 followers before I'm monetized. And so that was the beginning of May. And I had a completely different mindset. I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this and see what happens. So on May 1st, I had 6,222 followers. And then again on the May 4th, I got another Rising Creator badge. And on May 6th, I had 6,924 followers and I got another badge. They have different badges like conversation starter, etc., etc. Woke up on May 7th, not, checking my page every day, like, oh, not monetized today. And I was sitting in the driveway in my car after I got home from an errand, and I was like, I'm just scrolling a little bit, engaging with other content creators, as you do. And Lauren posted another video about committing to 365 days of just posting every day. And I was like, okay, that's just it. That's what this is going to be. I'm going to resign myself to that. And I actually sent that video of hers to a friend, and I was like, we got this. We're going to do it for a year, and you can do anything for a year, right? And then literally about 3 minutes later, I was done texting her and I got back on Facebook, and the notification popped up that I got approved for their content monetization program. And at that point, it was like 4:50 in the afternoon, and I had 6,951 followers, and I got approved for content monetization. So I was so excited, and obviously I texted my friend right away, and I was like, I can't believe this. Now you're next. Like, you're going to do it too. And so we had a little celebration. And then let's see here. What did I make in my first 24 hours? So by 4:50 the next day, I had made, let me pull it up. Okay, so after my first 24 hours, so by 4:50 the next day, with about 6,963 followers, I had made $3.93. Okay, so that concludes my Facebook monetization journey. And I hope that you found that helpful because I couldn't really find anything of someone outlining their very specific journey. There's tons of stuff about YouTube monetization, which I hope to be sharing with you someday as well. But I just wanted to share how exactly I got monetized on Facebook so that you can stay motivated. And, if you're somewhere in there in the same pattern, you can recognize things and maybe think, okay, I'm going to get monetized soon as well. And maybe I'll do a video in a year updating you guys on how much I made in my first year on Facebook. So, anyways, again, if you're not a plant channel, don't subscribe. Everything else is going to be about plants. But I just wanted to share this and inspire you guys, and I will see you next time.